Okay, without further ado, let's move to the next station. The topic is Agricultural 4.0 for climate resilient food systems, from precision farming to intelligent decision making, by Professor Lili Sutiarso from Universitas Gadjah Mada. This session will be led by our moderator, Mr. Ardan Wiratmoko, MSc. So let me introduce the moderator by reading the CV for you. Mr. Adan Wiratmoko, MSc, is a lecturer from Department of Agricultural Biosystem Engineering, UGM. He earned his bachelor and master degree in Agriculture and Biosystem Engineering, UGM. His research focused on precision agriculture and extraction and process optimization. His recent publications are about a comprehensive assessment of composition and nutrient content in fertilizers used in Indonesian oil palm plantations, development of a low-cost thermal imaging system for water stress monitoring, and smart plant, electrical signal monitoring system designed for indoor farming. Don't have to wait any longer. Mr. Adan Ratmoko, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. It's very warm. Welcome to all participants join us here in person or also everyone who join us online via Zoom. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to session 3. I hope everyone doing well, feeling energized, and ready for another inspiring discussion today. Okay. My name is Ardan Wiratmoko. You can call me Mas Ardan, Pak Ardan. It's okay. And I'm honored to be your moderator for this session. Before we begin, let me say that this very exciting session, because today we will discuss a topic that highly relevant to the future agriculture, food security, and sustainability. Okay, the topic today is agriculture 4.0 for climate resilient food system, from precision farming to intelligent decision making. I believe this session not only be informative, I hope you can enjoy, but also is inspiring of all of us. Okay, before I introduce our speaker, maybe I will give you simple question. Let me ask a simple question for everyone. How many you believe that the future of agriculture will be driven not only by hard work in field, but also by data, sensor, automation, intelligence system? Can I see? Can I see a show of hands for those who agree? Please raise your hand. Agree with me? Okay. I think it's many of us would agree. Today, agriculture is no longer about the cultivation, not only cultivation, but also about technology, precision, and smart decision, I think. Okay, for those of you who may know me yet, once again, my name is Ardan Wiratmoko. I'm very happy to accompany you in this session as moderator. I will guide the session from the opening, speaker presentation, Q&A session, and the closing. Now it is my great honor to introduce our distinguished speaker today, Professor Lili Sutiarso. Please give applause for Prof. Lili. Professor Lili Sutiarso is highly respected academic and inspiring figure in agricultural technology, actually in agriculture engineering and intelligent agriculture system. He also previously served as Dean of Faculty of Agriculture Technology from 2011 to 2016, maybe friends, all of you in here room, you may actually see a meaningful reminder of his leadership. You look at the on the back wall, yes, and probably one of them, yes. Today is thoroughly joined by the one of important figure of our faculty. This makes sense and it's very more special. Okay. Now allow me to briefly read the profile our speaker as a sound in a screen. Professor Lili Sutiarso complete his doctoral study in University of Tsukuba, Japan. His research area include agriculture system, precision farming, and intelligent control system. This area clearly reflect his deep expertise as long-standing contribution to the development and advanced agriculture system. In addition, this is some his research recent publication, a confident week decision framework in smart agriculture technology journal, development of low-cost thermal imaging system in 2025, a Journal of Agriculture Smart Technology, landslide disaster risk for SMIS, and multi-layer perceptron. I believe it's very fortunate to learn directly from him today. Okay, without further ado, it's now my great pleasure to invite Professor Dr. Lili Sutiarso to deliver his presentation. Professor Lili, time is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih. Thanks, Mas Ardan, Pak Ardan. Yeah. Yeah. Good day, all of you. Good afternoon. Sleepy. Yeah, it's our problem that's after having lunch is sleepy. Yeah. So yes, already introduced my names, also my background, my research interest. Yeah, actually, my background is agricultural engineering. Yeah, and yeah, as Pak Ardan mentioned before, that's our topics related to agricultural 4.0 is a challenging topic, I think. Yeah, I think we have same situation Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines, Thailand. Yeah, where's from Thailand? Okay, where? What city? Bangkok. Oh, Songkla. Okay. Yeah, the south, yeah, south area, yeah. Okay. I live in Thailand 2 years, so I can speak Thailand little. Aroy, Aroy. Yeah. Yeah. And also, great to see you from Australia and Vietnam. Where from? What city? Ho Chi Minh. Okay, I twice, 3 times. In what is university? Agriculture University. Oh, okay. Yeah, I went to Mekong, Delta Mekong. Okay, nice to meet you all. Put in offline and online room. Yeah, so I think. Sorry, I could not move free because I have still problem with my leg. Yeah, so please, if you have any question or any comment, please freely. Yeah, raise hand and then we can discuss. Yeah, because I know this time allocation is 2 hours, but I think maybe only 1 hour. So after that we can discuss more. Yeah. Uh, Back to our topic. That's from university, from faculty of agricultural technology, gave to us to bring this. I think rather difficult this topic to deliver in a short time, short, yeah, because usually Pak Adan, I and Pak Adam same laboratory, same research center, yeah, same, yeah. However, different age. This Pak Adan is what is Gen Z? Gen Z, yeah. Okay, it's rather difficult to deliver this topic in, especially in ASEAN country. Yeah, because maybe it's different with Australia, different with Europe, yeah, and developed country, other developed country. But especially for developing country, yeah, more especially in Indonesia, maybe. Sorry, we will. I will give some example in Indonesian situation. Yeah, because maybe it's now from east side, from Papua, from Merauke, yeah, to Aceh, yeah, west part of Indonesia. We have almost 13,000 island, yeah. And also maybe now the population's almost 280 million. More than 50%, yeah, around 50%, they live in rural area. It means that their main, what is main job or main activity in agricultural sectors. So this one of our problem, of our challenge compared to other country, of course. Yeah, because from east to west in Indonesia, we have many different situation. We have many different agro social aspect, agroeconomic aspect, agriculture system. It's different. Agriculture, yeah. I think it's almost same with Philippines. Philippines also is. I'm not sure how many island, but I think compared to Malaysia, Malaysia only maybe not more than 10 island. Thailand, so yeah. But Philippines and also Indonesia is island country. So we have problem related to the agricultural system, especially if we talk about technology. Yeah. Philippines, for example, from north to south area, what's Mindanao? Yes, Mindanao, and then I went to what is CSLU? Yeah, yeah. Yes, many time to because it's easy from Indonesia to fly to Philippines. Yeah. And also we have almost same bahasa, ya. Salamat, mabuhay. Yeah. Compared to maybe to developed countries, for example, in Europe and US, for example, there's a we call this a specific agricultural system. We cannot give a general general situation. Yeah, it's different. So when we talk about a food system on also maybe a climate resilience food system, it's a difficult to make a generalization. Yeah. Maybe, for example, in Indonesia, in West area, Sumatera, ada yang dari Sumatera? Sorry, from Indonesia, the participant from Indonesia, where's from Jawa? Oh, Riau, okay, ya, Riau, Sumatera. It's different to other island, for example, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, yeah. And to the east part is Papua New Guinea. It's different. Yeah. Okay, next. Yeah, this is a curriculum vitae. It's already mentioned. Thanks, Pak Adan. Yeah. My PhD in Japan and my master in AIT. What is Patum Tani? AIT campus? AIT, ASEAN Institute of Technology. Yeah, in Patum Tani, yeah. I think, yeah, near Bangkok. Yeah, 1994 to 1995. It's too old. Long time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This my brief curriculum vitae. That's I would like also to, yeah, I hope that our meeting, our discussions now we can continue in other time, yeah, next time or next opportunity, yeah. And also if I go to Malaysia, for example, go to Philippines again, so we can meet. Yeah, thanks. Next. Yeah, agriculture 4.0. It's not about technology adoption. Yeah. We know that agriculture 1.0 and then 2.0, 3.0, and now we are in 4.0. If we talk about 4.0, it's not about technology level. However, maybe you know that if we are in 4.0, we talk about IoT, we talk about smart system, we talk about what is digitalization. But agriculture 4.0 is about system transformation process. Yeah. So we are in a new era, new system, new agriculture system. Not only about technology level. Yeah. This is agriculture 4.0. And next, agriculture 5.0. We will come in. Yeah, maybe for example in Japan, in Korea, we are now prepared to come in a new era of agriculture sector 5.0. This is not only about technology, it's a system. Okay, next. Yeah. I hope in one or 2 hours, yeah, you will able to understand evolution of agricultural system. Yeah. Sorry, I have to start from the beginning, not from precision to smart agriculture, but if we are in ASEAN's country, we still have a traditional technology. Yeah? So I will divide into 3 parts: traditional, precision, and smart agriculture. Agriculture 4.0, sometimes people said also smart agriculture, smart farming system, modern agriculture, digital agriculture. Many terms related to agriculture 4.0. Yeah. And then, yeah, because this agriculture systems, we have to, I don't know, maybe you have any experience, learn about system thinking? Any of one? System thinking in your college, in your university? You have experience? No. Yeah. One tools, one analysis related to agricultural system or related to is we use system thinking or system dynamics. Maybe okay. Next, identity. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Identity technology gap and socio-technical constraint. Okay, we will discuss later more detail about socio-technical constraint. Designs, yeah, of agricultural 4.0, of course, and also some policy, some example related to implementation roadmap. Okay, next. Yeah, our theme, our topics, from precision farming to intelligence autonomous decision making. Any of you have idea related this sentence, please? Okay, yeah. From Philippines,
Yes,
okay.
hello.
Yep.
So basically, precision farming is optimized farming using technology so that resources can be used efficiently for farming. And other than this, intelligent, autonomous decision making
Yeah.
means is that once the once the farm senses that there is a problem, it will automatically decide what to do
Mhm.
and to take action instead of the farmer themselves.
Okay, it's good. Any others? Sleepy? Okay, yeah. If we talk about precision farming, of course, efficiency, resources, natural resources, yeah, sustainability, Now, environmental issues now is become hot issue, hot topics. Yeah, productivity. Yeah, the challenging in precision farming, how to minimize the input, its main resources, agriculture resources, but to maximize productivity, but to assure or to guarantee sustainable environment. This is a precision farming. Now we can look at our case, yeah. Philippines, Manila, Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, yeah. Maybe you have a simple example implementation of precision farming in your country. Thailand, you have any story related to precision farming? One of example? Rancaburi, where is agriculture area in? Sorry, more loudly, can you? In short, yeah. Short on Chiang Mai or Chiang Rai.
Yeah, Chiang Mai culture the tea leaf
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a khăn bên đây.ไม่ใช่
Yeah. Okay. Malaysia. You have any example related to precision farming?
I'm not very sure, but
Mm.
there is the like a paddy field like from our government like Mada
Okay.
located at Kedah.
Oh, Kedah.
Yeah.
Okay. How far from KL?
Probably like 3 hours or
3
2 hours
hours.
because I never been there
Oh
before
yeah.
because I'm from Sarawak.
Oh, from Sarawak. Yeah, sorry. Okay, that's good. Vietnam, you have any example precision farming in Ho Chi Minh City or Delta Mekong? Not yet? Yeah. Indonesia, precision farming, Indonesia? Please? Yeah.
Probably it's using IoT, something like that, precision farming.
Okay. More clearly, the example?
For example, maybe for like yesterday we go to the field trip and the
Where?
field
Field trip?
research.
Yeah,
Kulon
where?
Progo.
Oh, Kulon Progo. Yeah.
Then they use for what is it melon using
Okay.
so it's already program
Yeah.
like for the watering and then
Ah.
something like that.
Okay, thanks. Australia? From Australia? Yeah. I think a lot of example in Australia that if we talk about precision farming. Okay, please.
Look, to be honest, I don't really know specifically, but I guess like we have a lot of like broadacre cropping,
Yeah.
which like heavily irrigated, so that
Okay.
using like prediction of rainfall and things like that, they can then adjust.
Ah.
I don't know whether that's
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This a good example that in Australia, in Thailand, yeah, also in Malaysia, in Philippines, yeah. Pointers, the important point is how to minimize, how to manage agricultural resources, yeah, to increase the productivity. Whatever the tools or whatever the technology. Yeah. This precision farming. How to sustain the environment. Yeah. But sometimes it's difficult. This is a contra. In one aspect, we have to minimize, but in other aspect, we have to maximize. Yeah. How to increase productivity, but we have to minimize resources, efficiency. Yeah. This is a precision farming. Okay. Next. Yeah. We have some problem with Thailand, with Philippines, with Malaysia, in ASEAN country, yeah. Where in the beginning I said that we cannot jump directly to precision farming. We have still problem in traditional farming system. If you maybe go somewhere in this area, yeah, maybe 1 hour from here, you can see many traditional activities. Yeah. In terms of utilizing technology. Yeah, so that's why I will review related to traditional technology, not directly to precision, because precision farming is one level ahead that compared to traditional farming system. Lack of resources, small land area. How many average land area in Philippines? Yeah. Less than 1 hectare? Yeah. Okay. It's same. Sometimes maybe berapa Adan? More than less than 500 meter square. And now we have a problem related to conversion from agriculture area to industrial area. We have same in ASEAN country, same problem, same situation. Yeah, Malaysia. Yeah, because two sectors, agriculture sector and industrial sector, is a contra situation. Yeah, in terms of land utilization. Yeah. Low productivity. Now, for example, now we national average rice productivity in Indonesia around 5 ton per hectare. Compared to Japan, maybe Japan now is more than 10, 12 something. Taiwan also. China, maybe. I think anyone from China. Sorry, I forget. Yeah. What city you stay in? Oh, Northeast. Okay. Yeah. I went to China, but I forget the city. Shanghai, I think. How many average rice productivity in China? Roughly 10? I forget, okay. Yeah. But I think it's higher than Indonesia. Yeah. Korea also. Philippines, how many? Rice productivity, average 7 or tan per hectare. I don't know how to convert this. How many? How much? Square. Okay. Yeah. But average in ASEAN country, yeah, especially in Indonesia, still low productivity. Not only rice. Yeah, we of course we have, for example, in West Java province is good condition, good situation, can reach about 8 ton per hectare. But in some area, average is 5, sometimes 4 ton per hectare. Yeah. And the next is limited access to market. Yeah. And I think this is a common problem in our area, lack of data and information. Yeah, now we in Jogja, maybe you can easily get the access to data, access internet. Yeah. But if you go to for other island, for example, or maybe in the rural area, sometimes we can get a problem related to internet access. Yeah. So how can we develop the digital technology if we still have a problem related to internet networking? How to access, difficult to access the information, etc. So this our challenge. Okay, next. Yeah, this is some contextual challenge, structural constraint, institutional constraint, and also so important thing is environmental pressure. Of course, climate change. Yeah. Climate change problems not only in Indonesia, I think, not only in ASEAN country, but maybe all over the world. We have the same problem related to environmental pressure. Back to our topics, climate change resilience, food system. Because we have same problem, Australia, of course, Europe, yeah, about climate change. Next. Yeah. This one of our situation comparing between traditional technology compared to modern technology. Yeah. Traditional situation, yeah. For example, this trend of global food demand, yeah, of course, closely related with a number of population, and we know that our populations increase year by year, yeah. So in the figure, there's increasing, yeah, 10, 20 years next, etc. Yeah. The problem is the climate is fluctuation. We have a difficult to what is projection on the climate situation, for example. Yeah, because it's closely related between climate and productivity, especially agricultural productivity. Yeah. So this situation cannot overcome by traditional technology because it's very dynamic fluctuation, the situation, temperature, humidity, what the solar radiation, etc. In other aspect, global food demand is increasing. Linear to increasing number of population. Yeah. So we cannot make assumption. We have to look the reality. What is the reality? Situation is very dynamic. Change day by day, time by day. Now, maybe afternoon or heavy rain, maybe, yeah. Then tomorrow also, it's difficult to predict now, the situation, the climate situation, very fluctuating. So we need the technology that can accurate in prediction of the climate situation or climate condition. So there's we can assumption, but we have to look for the reality, the global situation now. Yeah. Next. Yeah. So that's why we have to change or transition the agricultural technology. Existing problem now in the field, in the our condition, yeah, and we have to solve the problem, yeah, from traditional technology have to move to modern technology, precision agriculture, and then smart agriculture. So we have to jump the level of technology. Of course, we have to consider our situation, our system. Philippines will be different with Indonesia, will be different also with Malaysia and other country in terms of level of technology. We have same objective. We have same target, how to increase the productivity, but different way, different method, depend on our system. Okay, next. Yeah, this is the same shifting paradigm from agriculture 1.0. At that time, we talk about mechanization, tractor, yeah, and other machinery. So we can imagine now, but that if we have used tractor, hand tractor, two-wheel tractor, for example, yeah. Actually, we are still in agricultural 1.0. Because this era indicate by using mechanical power source. Now we still have example in Java, in other island, also in Philippines. Yeah, some farmers still use hand tractor, still use 4-wheel tractor. Yes, still common use in our country, especially in developing country. Yeah, this is agriculture 1.0. If compared to Europe, compared to Australia, maybe I don't know, maybe they start in 1950, 19 something. Yeah, because why? Land area is, yeah, it's different land area, different situation, different socio culture, farmers. But in reality, now in ASEAN country, in some, also in Thailand, I think they still use 4-wheel tractor, yeah, mechanization. Is too for in land preparation, planting activity, fertilizing until what is harvesting. You still use 4-wheel tractor at least, yeah. So this we are still in this era is agricultural 1.0. It's a foundation. It's a basic agricultural development era. So we know that now it's different situation between developed country and developing country. Japan, China also, they still use a tractor. However, maybe the level of technology is different. Yeah, some tractors equipped by control technology, yeah, maybe GPS, etc. But basically, they use mechanical power source, mechanical machine. Yeah. Change to agriculture 2.0. 10 years ago, or maybe 20 years ago, we are in 3.0. What is 3.0? It's based on information system, based on data. I'm not participant from Indonesia already said before. We already use digital technology in research. Mana Mbak research kemarin Kulon Progo? Sorry. Research center. Okay ya, research center. Greenhouse ya. Melon greenhouse. Okay ya. They equip some control system, some digital sensor, etc. 3.0. And now we to move 4.0. What is 4.0? AI. Yeah. Now everybody use AI. When you make some or this paper or something, yeah, yeah. So actually, I cannot prohibit to our student to don't use AI. It's difficult. Please use AI, but you have to know, yeah, the AI, yeah. Also in agriculture activity, yeah. Pak Ardan doing some research, use AI also. Yeah, I don't in basement. Yeah, we have a plant factory. Yeah, and other research activities. Yeah, this is a 4.0. Okay, next. Please, if you have any question, just raise hand. Yeah, don't. Roadmap of agricultural technology transition. Yeah, what is traditional agriculture, precision agriculture, smart agriculture? We already discussed before. Yeah, traditional agriculture, yeah, indicate with manual labor, yeah, or animal labor. Maybe once again, if you have time, you going a near area, you see animal power, yeah, at least to land preparation, bisa, yeah. However, maybe some use hand tractor or four-wheel tractor, but some of them still use animal power. Yeah, of course, it's still some problem, yeah. Low input, low efficiency, time consumer, yeah. This is a traditional agriculture. Precision agriculture, yeah, use sensor, GPS, yeah, mapping, drone. This Pak Ardan spesialis drone research, yeah, mechanization, automation, yeah. This is a precision farm, precision agriculture. And next is smart agriculture, IoT, AI, yeah. In terms of technology, but in the beginning, I already mentioned that if we learn about agriculture 4.0, it's not about technology itself. It's about system transition. Okay, next. Yeah, this is a roadmap of agriculture technology transition. Mechanization is foundation. Yeah. Now we know that some countries still still develop mechanization. Yeah. I know in Philippines, in UPLP, they very strong related the mechanization. Yeah. In also in I forget the name university, but they have some agricultural university in Philippines that they are very strong related the mechanization research. Yeah, and I have one student from Philippines now, PhD student. He research about what is like banana. What is yeah, I don't know the tree. Like banana. To apa sorry. Yeah, yeah. Right. Apakah the he designed the machine to process the apakah. Yeah. This and also in Indonesia now this more popular related to apakah. Yeah. Yeah. The the PhD student in here. Yeah, the mechanization technology is actually the foundation. We talk about first era agriculture 1.0. Then precision and then smart integration. So this timeline or roadmap, yeah, from phase 1 to phase 3. So you can now identify your system, your agricultural in your country, which era now. Still in 1.0 or 2.0 or maybe already in 4.0. So you can evaluate, yeah, your system, not your technology. once again. Yeah, because if we talk about system, not only tools, not only hardware, not only software, but it's integrated some component, human resource, infrastructure, policy, government policy, etc. This is a system of agriculture. So you can, sorry, you can evaluate. For example, I don't know, you have the final project in this short course. You have, for example, if you have to make a paper related the agriculture system in your country, for example, and then you select in one topic, for example, about analysis, system analysis, agricultural sector in Philippines, for example, in Malaysia, for example. Yeah. So now you can compare, yeah, between technology level, between resource, agricultural resource related to agriculture development. Next. Yeah, this is a positioning if we compare from in smart agriculture, yeah, platform of smart agriculture, the foundation. If we develop smart system, first, what is? Any comment? The first step, if we want to develop smart agriculture, what? Data. You have a data. If you don't have data, you cannot develop precision farming. You cannot develop smart farming. Because data is the basic of a system. Yeah. From data to convert to information, then convert to knowledge. We will discuss later. So the first step, if we develop smart agriculture in our area, in our country, for example, we have to develop data. Yeah. Sometimes we call data driven. Everything. The problem is accuracy. Yeah. How to make sure your data from North Philippines to South Philippines is same. Same situation in Indonesia. Validity, accuracy data. How to update the data. However, we have, of course, national statistic, national data, national agricultural data. Year by year is updated. But we have to prove the data is valid. Actually, frankly, we have not yet single data, national single data agriculture. From east part to west, more than 1,000 island, 113,000 island. But it's a must if we want to develop smart agriculture. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The second, we talk about precision agriculture. Yeah. So it's mean that if we will develop, if we will utilize the system, precision agricultural system, yeah, first we have to develop the data or database. We have to process, convert from data to information, from information to knowledge, and then from knowledge to make a decision. So intelligent decision making system come from raw data, whatever the data, productivity, area, number of farmer, and okay, next. Ya. Oh ini kebesarannya. Waktunya diberitahu ya, time. Sorry. What is precision farming? Yeah, it's already mentioned by Norwin. Yeah, it's clear. Technology-based farm management approach. Same, yeah, about accuracy, efficiency, yeah, site specifically. It means that one kind of technology cannot utilize in all of area. Cannot. It's different situation, different condition. Yeah. This is a precision farming. South Philippines is different situation with North. Different situation in Central. Thailand also. Bangkok area different with Chiang Mai. This North, yeah. Chiang Mai is not, yeah. North area. South area, Songkhla, also near a border with Malaysia. Yeah, it's different. Yeah. In Indonesia also. Yeah. This is a concept of precision farming. One specific area, one specific technology. Different area, different technology to solve. However, maybe general design, general concept same, but sometimes we have to consider coefficient of location. If you have a research activity and related to a site location, so sometimes our model, our formulation consider with specific location. Yeah. Okay. Next. What is intelligent decision making? Use of advanced technology. This is one of criteria, one of indicator. If we compare with traditional system. Advanced technology, for example, IoT, AI, machine learning, yeah, decision support system. This is the intelligent decision making, yeah, in farming system. The target is generate recommendation or decision for farm management. Rather different with precision farming. The output of intelligent decision making is recommendation. Best recommendation fit for this location. Yeah. If you have maybe some alternative method, Yeah, and then you have to decide which one is better, which one is the best solution in your area, for example. So this is intelligent decision making. We use the best thing to solve the problem. So how to find the best thing, the best method. We use advanced technology. We use IoT. We use machine learning, AI. What for? To find the best choice. It's different with precision farming. Precision farming, as Norwin said, how to minimize the resources to increase the productivity, to sustain the environment. This is precision farming. It's different point of view. Okay, next. Yeah, this is a comparison between agriculture 3.0 and 4.0. Okay, it's already mentioned before that in 3.0, we use already digital technology in 3.0. We use computer. We use satellite data, sorry. 3.0. But different situation. For example, in 3.0, the technology alerts a farmer to run on irrigation or to stop irrigation. Give a signal to farmer to stop the irrigation. But in 4.0, yes, automatic. Can predict what's going for in next week, the situation, the climate situation. This is a 4.0. It's different. Yeah. Predictive autonomy. Predictive autonomy. Yeah. Because we use IoT, we use AI, we use machine learning, etc. Yeah. Okay, next. Yeah. The important things. I want to get your comment. Maybe in Thailand, in Philippines. If we move, from traditional era to smart era, smart society, what's our gap? Gap, yeah.
I'm sorry, Prof. Lili. We only have 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, okay. 10 minutes before and then after 10 minutes discussion. Okay. Yeah, it's already. Okay. Now, what's the important thing? Gap in socio-cultural value, especially in ASEAN country. Yeah. If we communicate with farmer and we will adopt the technology, advanced technology, for example, IoT, internet. What's the problem? Not only technology level, not only technology understanding, but socio-culture. Philippines also, of course. Malaysia, we have same. Thailand, maybe you have some example. For example, if you have a new technology and you bring to the farmer, and then we want the farmer can adapt the technology. The main problem is a cultural gap, cultural, socio-cultural value. So we cannot, yeah. Sometimes, okay, we train the farmer, what is extension, for example, some, no. The main problem is culture situation. Yeah, next. Next. Okay. So what is the meaning of agriculture? Okay, one of you. What is agriculture? Agriculture means two things, two words. Agri and culture. Yeah, okay? Agree, yeah? Agri is a field, area, land. Culture is there's some alternative meaning. But the important thing, culture is culture. Behavior, farmer behavior, way of life. Yeah, local wisdom is a culture. Not only technology, not only cultivate. Yeah. So this is a problem in our society. Because if we develop the agriculture sectors, actually we develop culture of our society, not develop technology, but we develop culture, new culture. So it's mean that 4.0, agriculture 4.0 is with the new culture in our society. This is a real problem in our country. Maybe also in some country we have same problem. We change the farmer culture. We change the farmer behavior. You know that farmer day by day, start from morning until afternoon in the field. Right? Yeah. So we come to the area, in rural area, we bring new technology, IoT, drone, something like that. Then we ask their behavior change directly. It's difficult. Yeah. So that's why it's different between agricultural sector with industrial sector. If we change industry, you know, I don't remember, I forgot that. Computer technology in maybe in 1980 or something, yeah. We change directly. It's okay. You use smartphone, it's easy to, yeah. Everybody change from the old one to smartphone, yeah. But it's difficult for us also, maybe, change from animal power, animal, yeah, to tractor at that time. And now we are come in 4.0. We will use machine learning, we use IoT, we use something like that. This is a problem. So the main problem in agricultural sector is a social culture. Also, not only in rural area, also in urban area. That's why now the big issue is related to urban farming system. Yeah, Manila, in Jakarta, maybe in KL, something like that. Urban farming system. We have to change their behavior from non-agricultural activity to agriculture activity. So this our homework, our task. Next, yeah, next. Okay, one more. Shifting paradigm from food system to food culture. Any comment from you? You know about food culture? What is, what is food culture? Sometimes we know it now it's national food system, yeah? From farm to table, from farm to our consumer, yeah? Production, yeah, processing, distribution, etc. There's a food system. But in the new era, in the near future, we talk about food culture. This is also our challenge, where we use advanced technology. Because, yeah, food culture related to value, tradition, local technology, local knowledge, etc. So I don't know, maybe some of you come from food technology, or food science, yeah. You have to move your paradigm from food system to food culture, national food system to national food culture. Food culture in Java, in here, is totally different with food culture in Sumatra. Like nasi lemak, from Malaysia, ya, nasi lemak, ya, nasi lemak, ya. We have also nasi, look like nasi lemak in here, look like, yeah. But different taste, different how to cook, different, yeah. This is a food culture, not food system. Because we talk about traditional food. Europe, Australia maybe, yeah. Have a breakfast, yeah, with bread, yeah. Tradition, food behavior, sorry. Yeah, it's different with. You have tried gudeg, yeah, with already. So what's your comment about gudeg? Very sweet. Yeah. You know, in our society in here, gudeg 3 times per day. Morning for breakfast, lunch, and also dinner. This is a behavior. This is a food culture. Yeah. I think this is very interesting for our colleagues from food scientists or food technologies, yeah, and also maybe are done food engineering, yeah. So we have to move from food system to food culture. Next, yeah. Also if we talk about food safety, what the importance of food safety? Information required for food safety decision making. Yeah. The main aspect about information. Yeah. About data. Yeah. Next. Yeah. Fortunately, now, if we talk about industrial era 4.0, because agriculture sectors is part of industrial system. Yeah. Fortunately, our sectors about food and beverage is first ranking in the world. Yeah. Compare with chemical industry, compare with electronic, mining, etc. About food and beverage. Yeah. Next. Time is okay. At least 4 area that's change to digital transformation. Yeah. Decision making. Yeah. Both in consumer and also in community. Science and technology. Food integrity. Yeah. And also public decision making. Yeah. Food security, environment, yeah, etc. So we cannot, yeah, we have to move from traditional technology to modern technology to digital technology. Yeah. Whatever the level of technology, but we have to move. Yeah. At least 4 area. Yeah. Decision making, food integrity. Yeah. Food integrity is meant for like food security, food safety, etc. Yeah. Science and technology, of course. Yeah. And also public or community. Next is, yeah. Already buy something in supermarket in here? What you buy? Lot, okay. So first time, what do you look? What you price? Discount? Yeah. Yeah. This is our behavior. Yeah. Next, for example. Yeah. With a barcode, you know. Yeah. With use our mobile, our smartphone, and then we can read the data in barcode of, yeah. This behavior, consumer behavior, when we consume uh, beverage or meal or something like that. Yeah. What is information? Yeah. Information related to our, yeah, for example, Coke or meal or something. It's now it's very important for us. Not only price, not only how many percent discount, not only expired date when, yeah, but we want to know in detail the specification of our product, nutrition, etc. Yeah, this is a new era in food system, in food culture. Yeah. Okay, next. This information system of food information from farm to table. Yeah. So that's why we have to a lot of data. Yeah. And now food industry, not only in Indonesia, in some area, in some countries, sorry, have to develop the food traceability information system. We cannot manually, but we have to use IoT, we have to use AI technology, and etc. to develop food traceability information system. Yeah, about the quality, about the safety, yeah, ISO standard, etc. Next. Yeah, this from farm to consumer. Yeah, but food traceability. It's one example that we have to move from traditional to modern or to digital technology. Next. Okay, this one example in decision-making process in food industry, for example. Yeah. So, yeah, at least a consumer that feels safe if we, yeah, for example, beverage and also meal. Yes. Next. Yeah, this last part in my discussion, in our discussion, conceptual design of intelligent decision making. Once again, we start from data, change to information, change to convert to knowledge, and the highest level is wisdom, local wisdom. So if we communicate with our farmer, actually we change their behavior, their wisdom. So this is very, very difficult. Yeah, we cannot in short time to change their behavior, farmer behavior, yeah, to adapt the new technology. Next. This the sixth layer. Yeah, sorry, this may be going to detail. So yeah, just for information for you, that's at least there are 6 layer architecture of intelligent farming. Yeah, start from data until decision making. Next. Yeah, this is the last. This architecture of climate resilient farming. Yeah. Once again, resources until decision making process. Yeah. Okay. Last. Oh, naik. Habis ya? Nggak keluar ya? Oke, Mas. Ya, thank you very much. Back to Pak Adrian.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Lili, for the interesting presentation. I think it's very important. Reminder all of us about the technology is not final goal. I think the goal is build more efficient, more resilient, and sustainable food system, I think. Okay, now we open the Q&A session. The question limited on only 2 questions, I think, because
time.
Yes.
What time now?
Time's up.
Sorry.
It's okay, Prof. Okay, if anyone would like to ask question, please raise your hand. Okay, please. Tika,
please.
maybe for first.
Don't say. Don't say. Don't be shy, sorry. Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you for the opportunity and thank you for the valuable insight from Professor. My name is Tika. I'm from biology in Universitas Gadjah Mada.
Okay.
So I would like to ask that we actually know that people, especially in Indonesia, that we have the local wisdom from the indigenous people that they already know how to manage their own agricultural practices. But based on your material, that we need to move from the food system to food behavior. I mean, they already have their own behavior, but whenever we try to intervention to the advanced technology like the 4.0, how to ensure that the local wisdom it can be combined with the advanced technology or the advanced agricultural precision agricultural system. I think it will be so important to preserve our local knowledge. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any else? Okay, please. Yeah.
Please clear.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I really want to add to that. In Australia,
Yeah.
we have lost a lot of food culture
Okay.
around the expansion of agriculture.
Mm.
We no longer rely on native species.
Yeah,
It's all wheat, beef, everything that's non-native. So a lot of our indigenous culture has been lost.
Mm.
And I think that that's kind of a major concern for Southeast Asian countries. So yeah, how that wisdom can be incorporated into the smart agriculture era, I think is really important.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe any question?
Oh, okay. Corner back.
Okay, please.
Thank you, Mr. Lily, for the presentation. Mr. Lily talked about AI previously. I actually don't know about this issue, if it's true or no, that the use of AI is need a lot of water, and the water, if I'm not wrong, for a supercomputer process, and it's not reusable. And maybe it's that case like ChatGPT
Yeah.
or any AI machine. If it's true, how we face that linking to sustainable issue, because it's one of my concern to use AI. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
First batch. First batch.
the first
First
batch.
round, sorry. First round. Yeah.
Please respond
Okay.
for the
Okay.
first.
Okay, thank you. I think it's interesting comment. Yeah, questions. This actually is our challenge. Yeah. In one part, in one aspect, we have to sustain local knowledge. You know that our farmers, day by day, yeah, they go to the field, yeah, to do activity, yeah, just, yeah, maybe start from their child, what is maybe 20 years old or something like that until 60 or more than 60 every day. They know very well about the climate changing, for example. Maybe in, I don't know in other country, but in Indonesia, for example, if there's a sound of a specific insect, yeah, in the morning, they know that it will be dry season come. This is a traditional or there's a local knowledge. Without any technology, without any, because this every day, every year, this changes the season, changes the situation, changes what is temperature will drop, etc. Yeah, will. Oh, they can predict maybe next month will be rains, something like that. This is local knowledge. But in one of our slide, my slide, now the climate change, it's difficult to predict now. You see that the curve, yeah, dynamic, very dynamic change. So that's why we need a new intervention of technology. We cannot depend on our local knowledge because the situation is changing. Yeah. So now maybe I have one or two research topic now in Bantul. Bantul is 30 minutes from here, and also in Magelang. Magelang is near Borobudur. Maybe you. Now we develop integration between local knowledge and digital technology. It's one of our concern to combine, to integrate between local knowledge and new technology. Because, situations change. Climate change cannot predict accurately now. So that's why we have to use climate data. Maybe one of participants that if we use AI, consequently we have to use data, a lot of data. So we know that what is big data, etc. Because AI, the concept of AI, what is? And you can answer. What is concept AI? Yeah. To answer the question from what is concept of AI? Concept of AI is learning from past data. So if we use a lot of data, increase the AI will be more accurate, isn't it? Yeah. This is the concept of AI. So why, if we develop AI technology for agriculture, we need more data. We need more experience. We need more knowledge, local knowledge. So the answers, we cannot change the local knowledge in the village, but we have to strengthen local knowledge with advanced technology. So this strategy, combination between local knowledge and advanced technology, work together. Now we have a research, PhD student in Bantul and also in Magelang. Yes, near from here. If you have interest with the research, maybe someday we can discuss more how to sustain the local knowledge, local wisdom, especially in agricultural sector, agricultural system, with intervention the advanced technology. Yeah, please. I think Pak Adrian is one of our member in Smart Agriculture Research Center. Yeah, also doing together the research about this topic. So of course the case in Australia, there's day by day, maybe in the near future, maybe the local knowledge, local behavior related to food, for example, yeah, will be lost. Yeah. So we have to give, or we have to intervention with a new, with advanced technology, of course. Working together, combined, integrated. So the last question, yeah, if we develop AI, actually we have to collect more and more data. So of course, can say if AI is always with big data, always with storage, cloud storage, something like. So that's one package. If we talk about AI, Internet of Things, etc. But the problem is how to communicate with our farmer. However, our farmer now in Indonesia, you know, 300% people use smartphone. 300%. The meaning is one person average 2 or 3 unit. So if we talk about digital technology, if we talk about digital communication, I think our farmers already commonly use the smartphone. But the important thing, how to use properly. Not only for chatting, or not only for YouTube, TikTok, but I think digital technologies, yeah, can be used more useful, etc. Okay, because time.
Thank you very much, Prof. Lily. I think the last question from Zoom, maybe you would like to question directly. Ahmad Akmal Devatara. Hello. Can you open camera and open your mic?
Ya, dengar.
Maybe I will.
Ditulis.
Yes. Hello, Pak. Insightful presentation. My name is Akmal. I'm from computer engineering. My question is, given the extreme land fragmentation and aging demographic and the lack of local maintenance network in Indonesia, how do we ensure precision agriculture deliver a real ROE, region of interest, instead of just becoming complicated tools? Specifically, what is ideal target segment and GTM, go-to-market strategy to make this technology both adopted and sustainable at the village level?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, Mas Akmal from Indonesia.
From
From
Indonesia, maybe.
From Indonesia, ya, Mas Atma. Okay, thank you for your question. This is an important thing. Once again, related the definition or the meaning of precision farming, precision agriculture system. No one technology fit for all. We have to consider local specifically. Different local, different area, different situation, and also different problem solver. So that's why this important with question from Mas Amal that yeah, we have to try, we have to find alternative technology, of course. Yeah, if the situation in the environment not support with the technology, I think this one of the principally the what is technology development in specific area, and we cannot push our technology to adapt the society in that area. I think this a simple answer to Mas Akmal. Thank you.
Last question from Zoom. From Laude Abdul Aziz Hasidu, Indonesia. Maybe you will question directly, or maybe I will read your question.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, after working as an agricultural extension for 4 years, I understand that farmers now are more directed by money.
Yeah.
How much money they get.
Yeah, of course.
For example, if a certain commodity is already hyped and they have a good prospect, the farmers would suddenly change their commodity. For example, in West Muna, they have corn commodity. However, if there is, nilam, I don't know how to say it in English.
Nilam.
Tanaman nilam. They would suddenly change the corn to be nilam. Because they thought like the price of corn suddenly dropped from 9,000 to only 2,000 rupees. Then they would change it to be nilam. Suddenly, all areas in West Muna, they change it to be nilam. For the first time, maybe the price of nilam is already high, but because there are a lot of farmers plant nilam, then the price of nilam drops again.
Yeah.
From more than 1 million to only $500 per liter. 500,000 rupees per liter.
Yeah.
So that kind of behaviors goes on and on without the what is that? Without the direction of the government and the researchers. So I think like, is there any room for government and researchers that can work together in synergy to direct farmers to plan a certain community based on geospatial or geopotential, as you have explained it actually? And I hope like if there is like a collaboration or a change for the government, West Muna government to UGM maybe, like I really hope that there would be a collaboration for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mas Laude. Yeah, this Mas Laude, this I think come from Sulawesi.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, this is good. Yeah. Once again, when we are in traditional era, what the most important things for farmer? How to increase productivity? Because the productivity flow to the money. Okay, profit, profitability, etc., and money. But if we change from traditional to precision or until to smart, we cannot consider only money, only economical aspect. Because we have to consider also about environment. What is sustainable environment? The third aspect about social aspect. So in the modern agriculture, there are three aspects that we have to consider, or we have to guarantee its sustainability, economic aspect, environment aspect, and also social aspect. Yeah. So we have to communicate with farmer. We have to communicate with our society. That's not only about money. Not, of course, the first priority for the farmer is money because related to their living. There's many things, but yeah. Thank you for Mas Laude. Of course, that's we have to collaborate. We have to work together between university, research agency, government as a policy maker or decision maker, industry, private industry, for example. Yeah. One case is good example from Mas Laude is Nilam. I don't know in English. Ada yang tahu nilam, minyak nilam? Nilam is oil ya, so like oil. Sorry, I will try to find in English. Petroleum. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. This is a very if it's about economic, there's potential commodities in Indonesia. I think it's also in other country. Yeah, we agree that we have to work together. We have experience, Mas Laude, but in Aceh, in Gayo, yeah, in Aceh, not only about coffee, but also nilam. And we work together with our partner in Universitas Syah Kuala and also in private industry about nilam. But the problem in the market is by market. We can increase the quality of oil, the product, but the problem in the market, about the market. So we still now make some, of course, continue our collaboration and I hope that we can collaborate in with Sulawesi, our colleague in Sulawesi, work together with research center also in local government, of course, and UGM. Thank you, Pak Laude. The important thing that we have opportunity, to work together related the technology in processing agro-industrial nilam, for example. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Lili, from your insight. Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Lili, for your time, your insight, and your inspiring contribution in this short course, I think. And thank you to all participants. This wonderful session, very active, I think. With that, I would like to officially close this session. And now I would like to hand the session back to MC. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Lili Sutiarso, for being an insightful lecturer about Agriculture 4.0 for climate resilient food system, from precision farming to intelligent decision making. We would like to give the appreciation certificate that will be given, symbolized by our moderator. Okay, may we give applause to the speaker? And also, we would like to thank Mr. Adan Wiratmoko MSc, who led the discussion before, and the certificate of appreciation will be given by the by the Vice Chairman of the short course of 2026, Ms. Taliana Zia, MSc MBA. May we give applause to the moderator? With the session of appreciation certificate already implemented, then the third material of this summer course has ended. For operator, you may stop